Good morning, everyone. It is 9 o'clock here in Happy Valley. That means it's time for another coffee hour presented by the Penn State Alumni Association. We have two great guests again with us this week. Paul and Martha Sharkey join us. They are the co-founders of Today is a Good Day. And we look forward to sharing their story with you here in just a couple minutes. If you're joining us on Zoom, go ahead and let us know who you are and where you're from. You can drop that information in the chat in your Zoom video window. And for those of us who are joining on Facebook Live, welcome to Coffee Hour. Let us know in the comments who you are and where you're live streaming us from this morning. We have a great program lined up. Like I said, Coffee Hour with Paul and Martha Sharkey this morning, presented by the Penn State Alumni Association. They are the co-founders of Today is a Good Day. We'll get started here in just a minute. Thanks for joining us. I see Gabe Kresge down in Westchester. Welcome, Gabe. See Janet in Gulf Mills. Janet, good to see you. Thanks for joining us this morning. Our good friend Sean Miller joining us right here in Happy Valley. Good to see you, my friend. And Denise Sullivan here in State College, a big fan of the Sharkeys. She gives a yay Sharkeys in the chat. So thank you for joining us, Denise. We'll be getting started in just a minute or two. If you have questions throughout the program today, go ahead and drop them in the Q&A. Also in Zoom, at the bottom of your Zoom video window, there is a tab there for that. If you need closed captions, click on the closed caption button there. We have all of our virtual events closed captioned. Just click show subtitles and you will activate that in your Zoom video window. And there is a link posted in Facebook Live if you want to activate captions there as well. Good morning, Amber Krieg, also here in Happy Valley. She was the former Lion Ambassador advisor when Paul Sharkey was the Lion Ambassador. We're going to talk about his experience as a Lamb here at Penn State in just a moment. Pete Sheridan joining us from Blandon. Welcome, everybody. Where else would you rather be than a Zoom full of Penn Staters? I'm Paul Clifford, CEO of the Penn State Alumni Association, and welcome to the Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. Each week on Coffee Hour, you can expect to hear the voices of Penn Staters talking about what they're passionate about, and you can expect to feel the pride and the power of the Penn State Network. We are recording this session and closed captions are available for this event. You can find the information in the chat, in Zoom, or in the comments on Facebook. Today, we're joined by Paul and Martha Sharkey. They are the founders of Today is a Good Day, a nonprofit providing personal and financial support for families who experience the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit. They founded the organization in honor of their daughter, Claire, and in memory of their daughter, Mary. The Sharkeys recognize the gap in care for families navigating the NICU after the birth of their girls. They founded Today is a Good Day to close that gap. Prior to her current role, Martha served in several nonprofit leadership roles, and she holds a bachelor's degree in communications from, of course, the Pennsylvania State University. Paul joined UnitedHealthcare in 2008 and currently serves as the Vice President of Sales for Pennsylvania, Delaware, and the New Jersey markets. He holds a degree in marketing and international, again, right here from Penn State. So welcome in, Sharkeys. Good to see you this morning.
Good to see you.
Thanks for having us, Paul.
Absolutely. I'm looking forward to helping to share your story with fellow Penn Staters. But let's start right at the very beginning. How did you become Penn State Nittany Lions?
You want me to go first, Paul?
Always.
Well, I do have to credit my parents, specifically my mother, for sure, Paul. I did not want to go to Penn State at first. I know, right? And I said, Mom, I'm going to go to a small school. You can only buy the sweatshirts at that school. My brother went to a small liberal arts college. I said, you can buy a Penn State sweatshirt at the Bon-Ton. Now, I grew up in Lancaster. And she goes, that's why people go to Penn State, Martha, because everybody's a part of the Penn State community. So she had me go up. I had a good friend from high school who went to Penn State the year before I graduated. And she said, why don't you go up and visit Tim? Go see what you think about Penn State. Per usual, my parents were correct. I came back and said, I'm going to Penn State. And it was the best decision that I ever made.
Now, did you go to McCaskey?
No, my mother taught at McCaskey, though, for 35 years. I went to Conestoga Valley.
Got it. There is a pipeline almost directly from McCaskey High School into the Penn State Alumni Association. I'm not going to list all of them, but John Black, one of the icons here at the Penn State Alumni Association, longtime editor of the Football Letter, is just one example of the McCaskey High School pipeline here into Penn State.
Yes.
Paul, how about you?
That's really interesting about John Black. I didn't know that. Thanks for sharing, Paul. For me, it was pretty easy. I visited Penn State the fall of 1997 on a Sunday. And on that Saturday, Penn State had beaten Michigan and was ranked #1 in the country that Monday. Campus was electric. My campus tour was electric. A good family friend, Martin Salamone, used to work in the athletic department at Penn State. So when I got to campus on Sunday, he actually took me on the floor of the basketball court at the BJC. And I was pretty much hooked right from the start. So it was an easy choice for me after 12 years of Catholic school in suburban Philly. I was looking for a little bit bigger school and meeting more diverse and interesting people. And so big home run for me when I got that acceptance letter.
Absolutely. A 29-17 victory for the Nittany Lions that Saturday.
Thank you for, I did not know the score. That's very
That's
good,
impressive.
Paul. That is impressive.
And it was a brand new Bryce Jordan Center at that point, right? Just opened in 96, I think. Amazing. So you both come to Penn State. What are some of your favorite memories from your time here at Penn State?
Oh gosh, you go first, Paul.
Well, so many that we can't get through them all here, Paul, but I would just say for me, the biggest concern I had was that it was going to feel so big. And that's what everybody told me, especially coming from Catholic school. Oh, are you going to be okay? There's so many people, the classes are so big. And early on, I found kind of a network to really make Penn State small and make it my own. So getting involved in Greek life my freshman year at Pi Kappa Alpha fraternity, I see Amber, my line ambassador advisor. I was able to get into line ambassadors my sophomore year, and really those experiences of just finding a network, finding friends, getting involved, trying to give back to the university. I would say are some of those things that just I remember and sustain me still today. So there's some great memories for me.
Wonderful.
And I would agree with what Paul said. I go back to what my mother said. She goes, you want something to do 24 hours a day. You can have something to do 24 hours a day at Penn State. And that is what I loved about it. Always having some place to go. I also got involved in Greek life right away to find my network. And it worked out great for me for leadership opportunities and getting involved with Kappa Delta, which helped to introduce more friendships to me through other sororities on campus. So that was a big part of my Penn State life, and just love being there. I mean, there's nothing like walking up in front of Old Main or walking through campus and going to get ice cream, and so many good memories.
You both mentioned that you got involved at Penn State to find friends, to build a network, right? To kind of put that community of support around you. But somewhere along the way, you both realized that kind of involvement not only did all of those things, but it also taught leadership. Martha, you mentioned you were president of your sorority at Kappa Delta. You were a leader in Pan-Hellenic. Can you talk a little bit about some of the leadership lessons that you learned through those experiences?
Oh, I sure can. I mean, I have so many fond memories of being a part of Greek life and being on President's Council, one of my best friends was president of Alpha Phi the same time I was president of KD. We used to fight all the time in President's Council together. She's one of my longest, dearest friends that I have to this day. And that network then built onto the Panhellenic network. I was in charge of recruitment.
Right.
And those friendships have continued on. We actually just reconnected and did an IFC PHC happy hour the other week where we were able to touch base with some of our friends who were part of IFC and Panhellenic Council as well. But what I learned the most, I think, from my experience on President's Council on Panhellenic was teamwork. I still remember my advisor, who I'm still friends with to this day, Stephen Ruprecht, who was there. He had left to go to Drexel when I was in charge of recruitment. And he came back, and his leadership to help me through that process in partnership with the new director who had come in, that taught me a lot of great lessons just about teamwork, friendship, loyalty, working together. It helped set the stage for, I think, the future path that I took in life.
Paul, you mentioned you were a Lion ambassador, as we like to say, walking backwards into history. Talk a little bit about some of the leadership lessons from either your involvement with Greek life or with Lion ambassadors.
Yes, so Paul, for both of those great leadership coaching and moments for me, I would say it started with Greek life, because right away, even as a pledge, the older brothers start giving you responsibility. And one of the things, I was a philanthropy chair my sophomore year, and with a sorority on campus, we actually raised dollars through a softball tournament for the Mid-State Literacy Council. And it was just really interesting that I'm 18, 19 years old and being responsible to handle a budget, to, staff an event, to promote the event, market the event, and see it through successfully. And I would say those early experiences like that then helped me in Lion Ambassadors, where the stakes even went higher. I remember my last year in Lion Ambassadors, our committee, the Walkers, go Walkers, were responsible for executing the annual retreat for the Lion Ambassadors. And that is just such an important event for the organization each year, to send off the seniors to welcome in the new class. But yeah, you're handling a 2-day event, handling a budget, all the food, the lodging, creating the line dance. For those of you that know Thon, Lion Ambassadors also have a line dance. And so all of those things really did help to get those experiences at Penn State that led to being able to get my career started outside of Penn State, namely in higher ed. My first job was as an admissions counselor at Catholic University in Washington, D.C. And I had admissions experience doing the campus tours at Penn State.
That's amazing. Now, Paul, that wasn't the year that the moose fell off the wall and the antler stuck in the floor at Lion Ambassador Retreat, was it?
It was not. It was not, but that is legendary.
This is the Penn State Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. I'm Paul Clifford. I'm joined by Paul and Martha Sharkey. They are the founders of Today is a Good Day. So you graduate from Penn State, but you both credit your career launch with experiences at Penn State. Martha, for you, it was an internship. Talk a little bit more about how that helped launch your career.
Sure. Well, and I also want to step back too, Paul, because one of the areas that we focused on at Penn State, which I also think helped to direct our path in life, was our involvement with Dance Marathon. I mean,
100%.
We both danced our senior year. We were very involved in fundraising for both of our Greek organizations and working to support Dance Marathon. And I think that helped us start our life path of giving back and wanting to give back. That certainly led to that. I participated in a program in Washington, D.C. and was able to intern down there. I actually interned with Crate and Barrel. I was one of their first interns that they had. And I always loved sales. So I've always been big in sales and retail. And that has transitioned very easily into fundraising. My whole career post Penn State has been in the nonprofit sector, and most of it's been in either events, sales, fundraising, development, sponsorship. And that has certainly led us to where we are today, of having Today is a Good Day and being able to raise money to help support families navigating the NICU.
Paul, you hinted at your Lion Ambassador experience and how that propelled you into higher education, but talk a little bit about the early part of your career.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. So exactly, I was able, graduated December of '02. By March of '03, I was able to find that role at Catholic University serving as an admissions counselor. And as I said, I attribute that to the work with line ambassadors doing admissions work at Penn State. But then within 2 years from there, I was able to actually move to the great city of Lancaster to be
The
closer
best.
to Martha, and I was able to get a job at Franklin and Marshall as an assistant
Oh,
director of
wonderful.
alumni programming
Mhm.
there, and that was directly related to my years with line ambassadors supporting the Penn State Alumni Association. So I was a natural fit, and I don't think I would have been eligible for those jobs at my age without some relevant kind of work experience at which I was able to have at Penn State. So eternally grateful for that.
That's amazing. We have just a small Lancaster connection in our family. I did graduate school there for a year at Millersville of Pennsylvania,
Mhm.
but my wife and I lived on Lemon Street, which was like 3 blocks from the Ben Franklin library. And so I would actually do all my studying down at Franklin and Marshall just down the road.
Guess who used to live on Lemon
My
Street?
house was on Lemon Street, Paul.
My
Oh my
apartment
goodness.
was on Lemon Street.
I was on the 400 block right at North Charlotte.
I don't remember that, but we were going downtown. There was a great coffee shop on the one corner. There was a laundromat on the other corner.
Yep,
Oh
yep.
my gosh.
I don't know if you ever went to Brendy's on Lemon Street.
Brendy's on them. No,
Yeah.
look, I was young. I was more thinking about kind of the village and the Chameleon Club and,
There you go. There you go.
those places down there. But
Yeah.
boy, how transformed the city of Lancaster now
It's
is.
amazing.
Sure.
When I was there was nothing on the other side of, is it the Harrisburg Turnpike?
Right?
Yep.
Right,
Yep.
Harrisburg Pike. And now they've put that great athletic facility over there, the
Mhm.
swim center, and Lancaster Brewing Company over there. So it's wonderful. Hey, this is not a commercial for tourism in Lancaster.
Yeah,
But
exactly.
if you go and you visit, you won't be disappointed.
That's
So,
true. That's true. We always love getting back out there. My family's still out that way.
absolutely. So you mentioned your involvement with Thon. And as I was kind of preparing for this, I thought, the work that they're doing today in a number of ways mirrors the nonprofit that Thon supports in the Four Diamonds. Talk a little bit about Today is a Good Day. I want to go down that path with you all. In July of 2010, Martha, you learned that you were pregnant. A few weeks later, you discover that you're pregnant with twins, due in March of 2011. And the pregnancy was moving along as planned. And then some terrible news in November of 2010. Can you pick up the story from there?
Absolutely. Absolutely. We were so thrilled to find out that we were expecting. And we thought, like so many, you get pregnant, you have a baby, and you start a family, which is certainly how it goes for many. That is not how our journey went. And I'll never forget, I was working at the Franklin Institute Science Museum at the time, wonderful place. And something just didn't feel right. I called. They said, well, why don't you come in? We'll just make sure everything is okay. And I remember looking at my director and saying, hey, I have my folder. I'll see you tomorrow. They just want me to come in and make sure everything's okay. And that was truly the first day that our lives changed forever. I was admitted to the hospital on bed rest at 23 weeks and 0 days. They spoke with us, the doctor spoke with us and said, we're going to try and keep you pregnant as long as possible. Every day, every hour, every minute counts. And we had big plans. Our daughters were due March 8th of 2011. This was November 9th of 2010 when I was admitted to bed rest. So they were not due for several more months. And we had big plans to spend Thanksgiving in that hospital room, to spend the holidays there, and of course, to kick off the new year in that hospital room because our girls were not due for quite a while. But that is not how our story went. And Claire, Josephine, and Mary Gladys arrived just 5 days later on Sunday, November 14th. Claire weighed 1 pound, 2 ounces, and Mary weighed 1 pound, 4 ounces. And we were launched into the overwhelming unknown world of the Neonatal Intensive Care Unit.
I can't imagine. I can't imagine that as a father of 3, We have been so lucky that they have been healthy throughout their lives. But as your story goes on, there's heartbreak in the future for you, with the pain of losing Mary. Can you talk about that experience, losing one daughter, but then still having to be there to fight for another daughter? Talk about that time.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. It was, as you said, incredibly difficult, and just, I would say shock was the biggest thing Martha and I were going through in those initial days. And on day 3 of life for the girls, one of our good neonatologist friend and someone we've stayed in touch with, Dr. Allison Cook, came in and said, "Hey, we've done some initial testing on the girls, and for Claire especially, the prognosis is extremely poor. We don't think there's a high probability she will not be able to walk, talk, feed herself. If she lives, which is very unlikely that she would live, you're probably looking at an assisted living facility for her, and extraordinary measures for her to, be well and have a life." And they said, initially Mary was our stronger twin at birth, and Mary overall was doing better than Claire initially. So imagine the devastation 2 weeks in, that Mary passes away. She ended up becoming sick with something called NEC, and that ended up being what took her young life. And so we had to mourn Mary and then turn immediately back to Claire. And what I would say is, for Martha and me, we are both strong people of faith, and we put our faith in God and faith in the incredible medical team at Jefferson Abington Health. And, we just did everything we could. We did everything that was asked of us. We tried to be with Claire as much as possible, before work, after work. We just were there, and we said, "Hey, whatever we can do to help her get better, we will." And, miraculously, Paul, she beat the odds and started to get better, and came home after 103 days in the NICU.
And I'll say one of my biggest memories from that journey, Claire was born at 1 pound 2 ounces, but dropped to 15 ounces on day 3 of life. When we had received this news, it was very difficult. And after Mary had died, we went back to Claire. But in the meantime, and this is something that you don't really think about, but in the meantime, both the cribs had arrived at our house for the nursery for the girls, and the rug had arrived that we were going to put into their nursery. The rug, I will never forget, we left the rug rolled up on the side of the nursery in the plastic wrapping, because we didn't know if Claire was going to come home with us. And I will never forget the same doctor, one of our dear friends. I'll never forget the day she looked at me in the NICU, and we were getting closer to when Claire would graduate, but she said, "Martha, you can put the rug down," that Claire was going to come home. That was a big moment for us.
Absolutely a big moment. I want to acknowledge that while the work that you do celebrates and honors your daughters, and now your entire family, but I want to acknowledge how hard it is for you both to tell this story, and how grateful we are that you are sharing that with us this morning. So thank you for that. It was during that time that you developed your mantra, which later turned into something much bigger. Martha, will you share a little bit about the origin for the name of your nonprofit?
Yes, absolutely. This was something that was very important to us. We kept a journal. My pregnancy journal became our NICU journal. And every day the neonatologist saw us coming, Paul, because we had the pen out and we were ready to write whatever report they gave us. Claire's weight, Mary's weight at the beginning. And we remember when we first met with another one of the incredible neonatologists, he said to us at the beginning, there are a lot of bad days. When the good days start to outweigh the bad days, that is when you can go home.
Right.
And so every day that the neonatologist would say to us, today is a good day for Claire, we would write it in our journal and celebrate that good day. And when those good days outweighed the bad days, she was able to graduate from the NICU.
That's amazing. Then in 2015, you welcomed Martha Rose to your family.
We sure did.
Talk about the news of hearing that you were pregnant again, and where did your mind go with that?
Yes, this is something that we talk to families about quite a bit, because after you go through the NICU, and for us, we didn't have any friends or family members who had experienced the NICU.
Right.
We didn't know anything about it other than the volunteer work Paul had done through UnitedHealthcare for the March of Dimes and helping to run the community walk team. We didn't really know what the NICU meant. So it was all new to us, our friend network, and our family members. And when we found out that we were expecting again, it was definitely scary. I would say what's most difficult is getting to that point when we delivered Claire and Mary was a big hurdle to get over. One of our other lines that we continue to say to this day, in fact, I have a bracelet that a dear friend gave me. It says "one day at a time." And that is how we took our NICU journey, and that pregnancy with Martha Rose is truly just one day at a time, taking each day as it came, trying to celebrate each milestone that we hit. She did make it to full term. And I'll never forget, we looked at the nurse and she said, well, you know, Martha Rose is going to go with you at the time we didn't name her, but they said she's going to go with you to the room after she's born. And I remember us saying, what did we say to the
we
nurse?
said, no, that doesn't sound right. Like, don't you have to take the baby somewhere and do something? Aren't there interventions that need to be done? And they said, no, this is kind of how it should be. And one of the best parts of that day that Martha said about Martha Rose's birth, they always have a neonatologist in the room. And of course, we've become very close with the neonatologist, and I'll never forget Dr. Katie Ziegler holding up Martha Rose. It was like out of The Lion King, I remember. And she goes, "This baby's not going to the NICU." And it was just such a great moment.
And fellow Penn Stater. Dr. Ziegler. Yeah.
That's amazing. Again, good news in 2018, you learned that you're expecting another time. This time it's a boy, right?
Yeah.
But once again, kind of your story of heartbreak and love. Again, you know, you're riding the roller coaster of this. Talk about William's heartbreaking diagnosis and again what your family experienced.
Yeah, so Paul, we were super excited to find out that we were pregnant again in 2018, and I would not lie if I was to say I was excited that there'd be a little bit more testosterone in the house with these three beautiful women that I live with. But then early on in the pregnancy, we learned that that something wasn't right in one of the early ultrasounds, and so we had to do some genetic testing, and that genetic testing showed that William had trisomy 18. And trisomy 18 is a very rare chromosomal abnormality, which if you were to Google it or look it up, it would say incompatible with life is one of the first things that comes up with trisomy 18. So it was just a very challenging time for us. And, you know, I will say our experience with Claire and Mary had steeled us to not take anything for granted. But I will say that this one was hard, and especially on Martha, because Martha and I, but specifically Martha, had made the decision to carry William to term, knowing that our time with him probably would not be that long.
Yeah, I would say that was one of the most difficult chapters of life. I think for me personally, carrying William, we found out at 14 weeks gestation, he had trisomy 18. I carried him until 34 weeks. We didn't know at the time whether we would have any time with him, whether he would pass away before he was born. We had made memories ahead of time, and the hospital, Abington, where we delivered all of our children, they were wonderful. I mean, I think loss and working with hospitals has come so far, even in the 10 years between when Mary had passed away to expecting William and knowing what his path would be, that we were able to spend time with him. The hospital worked with us to say, what memories do you want to make? Our daughters came in, our family came in, everybody got to hold him and spend some time with him. And we created some really beautiful memories out of a difficult day. But his sisters know that he is their brother, and they were able to dress him and sing songs to him. And we were able to spend 91 minutes with him before he earned his wings in December of 2018.
You know, the most kind of inspiring part of your story, for me at least, is it's obvious that you're feeling the loss, but the focus is never on the loss. It's never on what you've missed. It's on the 91 minutes, right?
Mhm.
It's on what you had, not what you've lost. It's a story of positivity at the end of the day, and how that positivity has now led you all to help so many other families. We have to hit the reverse button a little bit and go back to 2014, because it was after your experience with Mary and Claire and the NICU experience that you actually took that experience and turned it into a nonprofit. Today is a Good Day was formed to help parents navigate the day-to-day, hour-to-hour, minute-by-minute ups and downs of the NICU. Tell us more about your nonprofit.
Well, where it started, we'll never forget. It was one week into our NICU stay. Both daughters were still with us. A mom had come in with her son, who was a former 23-weeker. He was 3 years old at the time. So now he's 14 or 15. It's been a long time. But she brought her son, Sam, in. The nurses looked at us and said, hey, a mom's here. She has pizza back in the conference room. You need to go back and talk with her and meet her. We went back. Here's Sam sitting across the table from us, a former 23-weeker, similar prognosis to Claire, not quite as difficult, but here he is playing on his mom's iPhone across the table from us. And we can't tell you how much hope and inspiration that hour that we spent with Anne-Marie and her son, Sam, meant to our family. That even just 1 week later, after Mary had passed away, Paul and I would look each other almost on a daily basis, and we would say, Sam Muscatello is successful, Claire can be successful. And he gave us a ton of hope. But that was only 1 weekend. We spent 103 days in the NICU with Claire, and we didn't have any other touch points with families other than that one pizza lunch and families we met ourselves who we introduced ourselves to. And so we saw that gap in care of trying to help foster a connection among parents, and we wanted to help fill that gap. But that's where the whole idea of Today is a Good Day started, is kind of figuring out where we could fill that gap. And then I have to tell you, the friend that I referenced earlier, we were talking about giving back and doing something for a long time. And finally, at Christmas time, she called me, my fellow Penn State sorority president. She said, I'm tired of hearing you talk about this. We started the fundraiser page for you to raise the money you need for your 501c3. Let's get this thing going. So that's how it started. Penn Staters, bringing it all together.
That's amazing. Sorority rival turned friends, turned
That's right.
Partners in crime, right?
Yep.
Talk a little bit about how your nonprofit has grown, the signature programs, opportunities to volunteer, and how people can support the nonprofit.
Yeah, thank you, Paul. The one thing I would say, and we learned this early on with our NICU experience, is that many people don't know what to say. And there were many nurses, because it's a community hospital. Our family knew many of the people that worked at Abington, and so many people came into our room and said, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry that this has happened to you. I remember some of the nurses crying, right? And you think about a birth, and births are supposed to be celebrated. And I'll never forget my boss, who's still my boss at the time, Dan Tropiano, came in on day 3 or 4 with the biggest bottle of champagne we've ever seen.
Amazing.
And he walks into our hospital room and he says, a birth, no matter what the circumstances, should be celebrated. And so that is something that's really become a hallmark for us at Today is a Good Day. So one of the biggest things we do is the care package that we give to every family that has a child in the NICU. And on all of the materials in that care package, it says, congratulations on the birth of your baby, right? So we give out a water bottle, hand sanitizer, a journal, so that just like we use that journal every day to track our journey, families have the ability to do that. We put in a bonding square, so that helps the mom and the baby connect and really get that sense of bonding, because you can't hold the babies, but that bonding square that you leave in the isolette and the mom wears one, you switch those out each day, and it helps build the sense of smell and the sense of bonding. So in all of those materials in the care package, we really try to make sure those families know, one, they're not alone, and two, congratulations, because this is special. But that's only one of the many things we do. So Martha, what else do we do?
Yeah, well, we've been able to grow. When we first started, we really focused on the care packages, and it was literally Paul and me at 10 o'clock at night, 4 o'clock in the morning, filling care packages. We both were working full time, and we mainly worked at Abington Hospital. And then we started to grow to one new hospital in the Philadelphia area. And in 2018, we had a long conversation, and I took a big leap of faith to say, you know what, if we want this organization to go where we want it to go, I'm going to have to step down from my full-time job to run Today Is a Good Day full-time. And it was one of the best decisions we've made. Since that time, we've been able to grow from working with Abington Hospital to now working with 10 hospitals in the tri-state area here, and also in Children's Wisconsin out in Milwaukee. We have grown from the care packages to offering those Navigate the NICU sessions. Just like we met Sam Muscatello, we started taking Claire back when she was 18 months old to meet with other families so they could see a successful 23-weeker. We could talk to families about loss. Well, now we have an entire network of graduate families who go back to their home hospital to meet with other families who are currently navigating the NICU. We have a training program for them. And we also started a direct financial support program. One of our amazing neonatologists said to us, hey, the care packages are great, your personal connection with the families are great, but the financial need is significant for families who are going through the NICU. So where could you help fill that gap? And we were able to create a direct financial support grant program where we will purchase cribs and pack and plays, baby supplies, SEPTA cards for transportation, Uber cards, and help families fill some of that gap funding that they need during their time in the NICU. But yes, I'm excited to say we're working with 10 hospitals, continuing to grow. It's been very organic in how we have grown just by making personal connections with different hospital partners and being able to talk to them about what they're offering to NICU families, where we may be able to come in and partner with them. But at the end of the day, we want to improve that patient family experience, right? The NICU baby, the baby is the one who's being taken care of by the doctors, the medical teams, the nurses. They are also doing the best they can to help the families. But this is where we want to come in and try to help fill that gap so we can support the families, the parents better.
That's amazing. You know, you both have nonprofit backgrounds, right? The traditional NPO and Paul, from your time in higher education. The rapid growth of nonprofits in the United States over the last 20 years has been mind-boggling. Today, I think there's about 1.5 million nonprofits in the US. So not only is there huge competition in the market for philanthropic dollars, but my father, who was the state chair for Mothers Against Drunk Driving in the early 2000s, one of the things that he observed was that the families that got involved and ran the local chapters of Mothers Against Drunk Driving, the ones that were successful were the ones that were able to kind of step out of it being about them and honoring kind of their personal journey and focused on others, right? And that's what I hear when I hear you all talk about Today Is a Good Day, that you all are certainly doing this to honor your family and kind of commemorate the journey that you've been on, but your focus is on others and helping them and understanding their story. I think that's a key to success for a modern nonprofit organization. How do you maintain that focus?
I feel very lucky to work with the incredible team of volunteers that we have and the network that we have through Today Is a Good Day. We have grown our board from 3 of us at the beginning to now 14. And apart from that, we've grown our subcommittees of our board where we have volunteers who have a personal connection to the NICU, have a friend or family member, or no connection to the NICU, connected with our organization. Actually, Janet, who's on here this morning, she just joined us as a volunteer, fellow Penn Stater. But to see the volunteers, the dedication they have to the mission, and really trying to give our NICU families a voice to share their own personal story is so important. On our website, we have a whole page of NICU miracle stories from 23 weeks to full term that the families have shared themselves. And the village that we have is really incredible. But we also, not only through our committees and events and all the programming we do, we have volunteers across the country weaving bonding squares for us. We have corporations across the country that bring us in to do team building events with their interns and their employees to make the bonding squares for our care packages. So this whole network that has grown over the past 7 years is just amazing. I mean, it's just incredible for us to see, and we feel so lucky to be a part of it.
And the nonprofit continues to grow and innovate, right? Talk about the Today is a Good Day blog and podcast.
Yes, yeah, we are continuing to try to innovate, Paul. That is for sure. We have moved all of our events to virtual events. We just hosted a really fun beer tasting for our annual Pints for Preemies. It's a lot of fun. But we launched our first podcast series last year. You can find it on any of your favorite podcast listening apps, as I like to say, but it's also on our website. And that was a new adventure during COVID, not being able to get together with others to meet with families directly. We thought it was a good time to launch that first podcast season. We're recording our second season this coming Saturday. And it's a way to provide a resource for families who are currently going through the NICU, talking about COVID and the NICU, talking about building a relationship with your NICU nurse, loss, friendships in the NICU, all different topics that we wish we had known about, but learned as we went through it. And we try to share that with other families. The blog, Paul and I have both shared different parts of our story on the blog. We have some guest bloggers who have been a part of that. The NICU Miracles page. So lots of different opportunities to try and connect. And we've moved all our programming virtual. So now Paul started a NICU dads group.
Yeah, one of the things, Paul, that I would say is, the dads are somewhat there in the background, right? I think the moms we work with are more kind of willing to share, that I think they feel safer in a space to share. And so many of our those navigating the NICU sessions, we see more moms kind of come to them. So what we've done over the past few months is try to carve out that safe space, if you will, for dads, and that kind of, hey, let's just get the guys together and talk. And we've had a few sessions, and it's really turned out to be successful and something we're really building momentum in 2021. So just one of the many ways, as Martha mentioned, that we're innovating and trying to increase the impact of the organization.
And I think a lot of organizations would probably say some of the programs that they've started during this time, they're going to continue. Had we talked about hosting virtual NICU dads group, and we have a fellow Penn Stater out in Pittsburgh who's joining that group virtually, we might not have created that program. And so I think some of these coffee and conversation, NICU dads group, these programs that we've started will be able to continue for years to come.
It's an amazing story. I was an undergraduate history major, Paul, and the history of fatherhood in the United States is a really interesting journey to follow, right? And I'm thinking about like your experience, right? The history of fatherhood as it relates to childbirth, right? They were down the road in the bar, right? 40, 50 years ago.
Yeah.
And then they were in the waiting room, and now they're in the delivery room, right? And so kind of the connection to that piece as a father has kind of evolved over years. And the impact that it has on fathers, as you just described, your guys group, if you will, is providing another level of support to help fathers on their journey through this loss as well. This is the Penn State Alumni Association's Coffee Hour. I'm Paul Clifford. I'm joined by Paul and Martha Sharkey. They are the founders of Today is a Good Day. They just mentioned their blog and podcast. We dropped those links into the chat in case you're interested in checking those out. Go ahead and subscribe today on your podcast app of choice, and you can listen to season 1, season 2 recording this Saturday, dropping later in the spring into maybe the summer. But look out for season 2 on the horizon. Your story and the work that you're doing has not only had impact in the Philadelphia area, has not only now spread to parents that are experiencing the NICU all around the country, but it's been an inspiration to students here at Penn State, which led to you all being invited to be the honorary Grand Marshals of the Penn State Homecoming Parade. How did that opportunity come about, and talk about that experience?
Do you want to touch on it?
Well, a big shout out to Denise Sullivan, our board member and dear friend, who's on with us this morning. Denise is an advisor to a women in business group at Penn State, and they were hosting a conference in Philadelphia. This is back in 2019, and we came in and did a bonding square project with them. And Paul, I'm not gonna lie, it was one of my favorite weekend events ever. It was me and about 100 Big Ten all-female undergraduates. Pretty great nonprofit event to be a part of. So
We're outnumbered.
I was outnumbered, but we had a great time, and we were able to engage not only with the Penn State students, but all of these women in business groups from around the Big Ten that had all come to Philadelphia. And their enthusiasm and feedback after hearing Martha and my story was really powerful. And then they went back and nominated us to be honorary Grand Marshals for homecoming that year. So it all kind of starts with Denise, her continued involvement at Penn State and giving back, and then giving us an opportunity to share our story. And as we were telling you earlier, homecoming weekend 2019, one of the best weekends of our lives.
It was pretty amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely. And look, you all went all out. You embraced the moment and the opportunity, right? You even had apparel designed for the occasion. And you're wearing it today. The We Are Penn State Blazers. That is phenomenal.
Paul thought we'd never get use out of these blazers again, Paul.
Oh,
I told him we'd wear them all the time.
I can't think of a situation where it's not appropriate.
Yeah, exactly.
Hello.
Exactly.
So we like to have a little bit of fun here on Coffee Hour and maybe walk a little bit down memory lane. So I'm going to throw some kind of quick fire questions at you, and you all just share the first thing that comes to mind. So your favorite Penn State memories. Martha, you first.
All right. Well, I'm going to say something after Penn State. Really a highlight for me, Paul, was when my Paul made me hike 3 hours on Mount Nittany before he proposed to me. That was a big highlight for me in my life.
Ditto.
Yeah,
Ditto.
No, it was a lot of fun. I would say our engagement up at Penn State is one of my personal favorite Penn State memories. It was really an unbelievable weekend.
Yeah, I have so many. I'd say being able to be the MC of Be a Part from the Start as a line ambassador, and getting to introduce the president and all these kind of dignitaries and people, and to be at Rec Hall in front of the entire freshman class and saying, hey, this is the start of the best 4 years of your life, is definitely a big moment for me. And then, of course, my wedding day to the lovely Martha on May 5th, 2007. That's a great memory.
I think Be a Part from the Start's the first time I ever heard Paul Sharkey. I heard that guy on that stage, I believe. Didn't know him at the time.
Never
That's
met
amazing.
a microphone I don't like, Paul.
So talk about your favorite classes at Penn State. Paul, how about for you?
Yeah, I'm sure you get this one a lot, Paul, but it's got to be Frank Clemente, Soc 5, one of my best classes ever. I took it my junior fall, and I'll never forget him day one saying, if you're a freshman or a sophomore, please drop this class. It's not meant for you. Right. And I remember calling my mom. I had lost my dad my sophomore year to pancreatic cancer. And I remember calling home after Soc 5 classes and sharing stories with my mom about what Frank Clemente had just taught in that class. And I had tears in my eyes. My mom was crying. I mean, his impact, because he did it, there was no textbook in Soc 5. It was all just stories of his life growing up and how they impacted him, is how he taught the class. And so definitely a big memory for me, and something I keep to this day.
The sociology faculty have been popular selections on Coffee Hour Frank Clemente has been mentioned before. Sam Richards has been mentioned before in Soch 119. And so a very popular department here at
No
Penn
offense to
State.
Smeal. I loved all my Smeal classes. I got to get that out there.
Martha, how about for you?
I don't have a story like Paul's. I would say that I did do I have a leadership minor that I took, and I love those classes. It was a very small group of us, but it was a leadership development minor. And I remember just sitting in those classes, learning about leadership, different leadership styles. And that was one of probably my best memories of classes at Penn State.
If you could have dinner with anyone, who would it be and why? Maybe there's a couple answer here, like you want to have dinner with the Obamas or
I think I
something
might
like
go
that.
Paul Clifford after you just told me about your undergrad in history and the evolution of parenthood for dads in the U.S. Usually, Paul, we have a game we play with the girls called 20 questions.
Right.
And if I don't get to the answer within 20 questions, my final answer is always Abraham Lincoln. So for me, Abraham Lincoln, hands down.
There we go.
Yeah. And I have to say, for me, you heard we have a 5-year-old who is also named Martha. She is the 5th Martha in our family. My grandmother's the only one who skipped a generation. And so I would say I'd like to meet my great grandmother, who was the first Martha in our line of Marthas, and learn about her life in Lancaster, where she grew up and what that was like.
That's amazing. Paul, you would be disappointed in dinner.
We're doing dinner, Paul.
I
We're
was a
doing
history
dinner.
major, right? I went to school with a lot of history majors. I don't know any historians. So how about your most unusual We Are moment? An unusual place or somewhere unexpected that you heard We Are?
Well, this was a good one. Paul planned an incredible honeymoon for us. We went to Italy. We went every possible place that you could go within 10 days on a honeymoon. I mean, we were moving and shaking, but we were in Rome, and I'll never forget, we had gone out to get dinner. We were strolling through the streets, and I literally went like this, what? And walking down the street because
we had just walked off the Piazza Navona in Rome, and we're going down this kind of side street alley, and there is a Penn State flag that says underneath Vini Vidi Vici. We came, we saw, we conquered. And apparently it's the Penn State architecture bar in Rome. And the owner of the bar was wearing a Zeno's
it was amazing
shirt. And he's like, oh, Penn State, I've been to Zeno's. It was amazing.
It was amazing.
It was amazing.
We went there for 3 nights.
Yeah, that became our watering hole in Rome for sure.
The only thing that would make that story better is if Joe Paterno was sitting at the bar.
Tell me about it. Tell me about it. Well, and actually, Paul, that is another great moment was the day after we got engaged. We never met Coach Paterno as undergrads,
right?
But the day after we got engaged, we're walking down Curtin, and here's Joe Paterno with a peachy Paterno ice cream cone in his hand. And I see him.
We couldn't even get a camera.
Coach, we just got engaged. And he takes a lick of ice cream and goes, that's what it's all about. And he keeps going. And I was like, that's better than a papal blessing. It was amazing.
That's an amazing story.
Yeah.
How about your favorite Penn State sports?
I have to say football, with all the memories that we have from sorority and the block tickets, family coming up. My parents came up to Penn State all the time, and we would get together to tailgate, and all of our friends coming back together to gather at Penn State for football games. So I would say it's just a nice reunion and fun gathering for sure.
I would say ditto, and that fact that I got to be on the court of the BJC when I came up to visit, and we would support the basketball games as line ambassadors. So I'll say basketball because one of my favorite memories, I studied abroad in Spain, and that's the year Penn State made the NCAA tournament and made some hay in it. So we were all cheering from abroad for the men's basketball team.
I got a chance yesterday to spend some time with Micah Shrewsbury, our new men's basketball coach here at Penn State. And I think we have a lot more trips to the NCAA on the horizon for us here at Penn State. Finally, your favorite flavor of creamery ice cream?
Oh goodness. Well, I'm so boring usually when it comes to creamery ice cream, and I always go cookies and cream. But Denise, our dear friend, for my birthday, sent me the sampler pack, and I've kind of opened my eyes to the grilled stickies ice cream. It's pretty
Oh, yeah.
amazing. Pretty good.
Paul, how about you?
I mean, based on the story I just told you, it's Peachy Paterno, soft spot in my heart.
That's amazing. The two you've picked, Martha, are actually really popular choices. So yeah, it's interesting. If people don't say death by chocolate or peachy paterno, it's always interesting to hear what their choice is, because those two are the two favorites that I hear about. But cookies and cream is a strong choice.
A strong choice. It's pretty good.
Does anybody do the coffee break?
Oh, I do. That's my favorite.
There you go.
Coffee
Nice.
break is my favorite.
Nice.
Oh yeah, it's a good pick me up. Mid-afternoon, right? Walk up from your office and grab one. I do that a little too often. So need to cut back on the cream.
Why wouldn't you?
If people want to learn more about your work, where can they go to find some information?
Yes, we'd love for you to get in touch with us. I know Sarah shared our website there, but we have lots of opportunities for people to get involved. If you have friends or family members going through the NICU, we will mail a care package to them on your behalf. We also have team building opportunities to volunteer from home and make the bonding squares. We have opportunities to get involved with us as a volunteer, especially if you're in the Philadelphia area, but now in this virtual world, really anywhere for you to get involved and work with us. And if you're a NICU parent or a grandparent, reach out. We'd love to share your story and be in touch with you and help you become a part of our growing network of families.
Our alma mater says, may our lives swell thy fame. And certainly your work is doing that for Penn State. And for that, we're truly grateful. Thanks for joining me this morning on Coffee Hour.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks
Paul.
for having us.
Thank you
Paul.
so much.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. When we're in State College.
And I want to thank everybody who's joining us on Facebook Live or right here in the Zoom room. Thank you for joining us this morning. If you're a member of the Penn State Alumni Association, we are so grateful to have your support. If not, what are you waiting for? Go to our website today at alumni.psu.edu, and you too can become a member of the world's largest alumni association. Thank you for all you do for the glory, for the university, and for the future. We are
Penn State! Woo!